Welcome back to Just a Guy Reviews. I'm Matt Sula, and it's been a long time, pretty much a year since my last video, but I decided to come back for the sequel to last year's phenomenon, Wicked for Good, directed by John M. Chu, of course returning Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, Jonathan Bailey, Michelle Yeoh, and Jeff Goldblum. This movie, I think, picks off a year after the events of Wicked, and much like the release date, this movie is dog shit. This movie's terrible. I like don't even know where to start, because if you start to think for like 1 minute during this movie, it's gonna lose you, because it doesn't make any sense in any way, shape, form. It's really, really bad. And I personally, my biggest hang up on these movies, and I will say I liked the first one. I thought the first one was quite good. The songs were good, as much as like I don't go back to listen to them. Songs were good. The performances were good. Still looked like dog shit. I don't know what John M. Chu was thinking, being like, yeah, we got to make this look like a real place, so let's take all the color that the Wizard of Oz had and dull it down to like the nth degree. It's just, and he kept the same thing here. Like, he had a year to go back and edit it and make it look better, and they just decided not to. But I mean, again, my biggest hang up on these movies is I know they're supposed to be in this alternate universe of the Wizard of Oz, but throughout the entire movie, it's just like, look, it's the Wizard of Oz. Look, there's the Cowardly Lion. There's the Tin Man. There's the Scarecrow. All this stuff that they don't say, because I'm pretty sure it's trademarked and they're not allowed to say all these things. But that's what they are. Dorothy's there. Toto's there. It's it just doesn't make any sense. We're treating Oz like a real place. I get it. Sure, why not? Despite the fact that in the Wizard of Oz, it's all a dream. It's like a fever dream that Dorothy's having. But it's just all is bad. And I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. If you like this movie, sure, I like bad movies. You might even think, bad? What are you talking about? This movie's great. It's got a 7.2 on IMDb. Audience score is a 95 right now on Rotten Tomatoes. 95% on Fandango. 3.7 on Letterboxd. Great reviews. I have not heard a single person say anything good about this movie. Granted, I don't know many people that have seen it in my personal life. I'm just listening to podcasts. I'm listening to all the shows that I always listen to. No one has been like, this is a good movie, because it's bad. Because it's a bad movie. The writing was abysmal. There were certain points in it where I started laughing, and like, not in a good way. It wasn't supposed to be funny. Like, it was just dreadful, and it made me like, in most instances, I'd probably groan at some of the dialogue that was happening, but I just couldn't help but laugh. It was so bad. There's a sex scene in this movie, kind of. Like, obviously, it's still kind of a children's movie. They're not showing anything. There's no, like, actual sex going on. But they have the pre- and post-coital scenes. And boy, was it no chemistry at all between Cynthia Erivo and Jonathan Bailey. Probably not a good idea to have, two gay people of the opposite sex doing shit together. Maybe that doesn't work out so well. This movie, again, it looked bad. All the good songs were in the first movie. Dialogue terrible. Writing didn't make any sense. I will say Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Jonathan Bailey, and whoever plays Bach, who I think is Ariana Grande's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, I don't know. They're all pretty good. Nothing really bad to say there. They all did the best they could with what they had. Michelle Yeoh completely phoned it in. Wow, was she terrible? Like, it almost seemed like she was so done after the first one, and which is weird. I know they filmed these movies consecutively, I know there was a bit of a pause because of the writer's strike. I don't know if all of her scenes were after the strikes, and she was like, I gotta go do this shit again? Really? And she's just like phoned it in. She was terrible. Jeff Goldblum is just Jeff Goldblum, which kind of takes me out of movies at this point. Like, it was kind of like watching Christopher Walken come in during Dune, where like, why is Christopher Walken in Dune? He's just being Christopher Walken. This guy has like top 5 most recognizable voices in the world, and you can't. That's not the Emperor. That's Christopher Walken. That's not the Wizard. That's Jeff Goldblum. It just didn't work at all for me. I I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. If you like this movie, all the power to you. I'm never watching this shit again. I rewatched the original before I went to see this one, the original, Wicked Part 1. I rewatched it to like get a understanding of what was going on, and even then I was like, wow, there's some terrible stuff in this movie. There was some terrible stuff in Part 2. There's a scene with Nessa Rose and Bach. It might be the worst scene of a big budget movie that I've seen all year. It was next to the silent dancing scene from the first movie with how bad it was. That was abysmal. There was really nothing outside of the acting, which the fact that Ari and Cynthia are going to be nominated at the Oscars for these performances is really terrible. Like, it's purely, we got to get people to watch the Oscars. Let's get these giant stars from this giant movie that made a ton of money to get people to watch. They'll probably, honestly, I think they're going to give Ari the Oscar this year for her performance, and she was fine. Nothing special. It's really, that's going to be one that, like, you're left scratching your head at. Like, I cannot believe they're doing this, taking it away from a real, like, performance in a real movie that was good, just so we can, like, give Wicked something. And it's going to be Ariana Grande. I'll put my bottom dollar that Ari is going to probably win whatever category she's nominated in. John M. Chu, like, man, dude, give up, I think. Like, this, he, out of all the movies that I've seen by him, which I'll admit, not a ton. I haven't seen the Step Up movies. I really liked Crazy Rich Asians. I think that's a good movie. A lot of fun. This movie does not have that. This movie doesn't have the same thing. You could almost tell Michelle Yeoh was like, all right, I worked with him in the past. I'd like to do it again. And like, something on this movie must have broke her, because she was awful in this. She did some really weird, terrible Star Trek movie that came out on Paramount Plus earlier this year. That was a real phone-in performance, and it seemed like it just carried over from this. But John M. Chu, like, nothing. If you can't get good performance out of your actors, like, I don't know what you're doing as a director. Cinematography was terrible. There's not a single shot in this movie that I was like, wow, that was beautiful. That's really, like, come on, man. Like, this is a story set in Oz. The Wizard of Oz is one of the most beautifully shot movies of all time. All the color, everything about it. And Wicked is dull, gross, disgusting. So bad. I had no hopes for this movie, I will say, going in. I'm not a Wicked guy. I thought the craze last year, as much as I did like the first movie again, it was fine. I thought the hype was way overboard. It was fine. The stage show, significantly better. And that's one thing as well. Like, I remember seeing the play years ago, expected to hate it. I remember being dragged to it, not wanting to go. And it was so good that when it was over, I was like, wow, that was great. And I thought I was going to hold a grudge against it the whole time. I was like, this is going to suck. I know I'm not going to like this. And it was great. And for all the quibbles about the writing and how bad it is, I didn't feel that way leaving the stage, leaving the play. This movie and the last movie, the writing is so bad. It's like, I can't forgive it. I can't forgive it. I will never be watching this movie again. I gave it 1.5 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd. I gave it a 33 out of 100. This is not for me. I really hope that I'm never going to have to sit through this shit again. And yeah, that's Wicked for Good. Let me know what you thought of Wicked for Good. Am I over hating it? Am I just a hater this whole time? Do I not get it? And, you know, maybe I don't get it. Maybe I'm holding up too much on the fact that this is a story set in Oz and the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy's there and all the other characters are kind of there. But it's a completely different story. It doesn't make any sense. Fuck this movie. Later.